We're good.
Good afternoon. This is the Land Bank Committee meeting of March 15th, 2021. It is 2:00 p.m. At City Hall, and we are live streaming this meeting. I will go ahead and take a roll call. It's Jonathan Holliday.
Here.
Greg Boltz.
Here.
Chief Oliver.
Here.
And Brendan Heil.
Here.
All right, and Blake Harris is not in attendance as of now. So the first item on the agenda is approval of the minutes from the 2/16/2021 meeting. I'd ask for approval or any discussion on the minutes.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Okay. So I guess I'll take roll on that. Mr. Holliday?
Yes.
Mr. Volz?
Yes.
Chief Oliver?
Yes.
Mr. Heil?
Yes.
Thank you. We're going to go through old business first. We do still have 626 Cold Creek Boulevard listed on our land bank, listed for acquisition. This person has not gotten back to me since December. We are looking to get a listing agent involved in some of these properties. So I can carry this on our land bank agenda. They are on an exclusion list, so that meaning that a listing agent would not come into play unless, I believe it's 45 days after the signing of the contract, if they don't make a purchase within 45 days. So I'm happy to keep this tabled unless anyone else would like to remove that from the table. I have no further information at this time, so. I think we'll leave it. Yeah. No. Okay, we'll just leave it on the agenda for next time. Item number 2 is 423 Fulton Street. If you recall, this is an application from John Jack Ernie. He submitted an application to acquire the property next to his at 423 Fulton Street. This lot was recently demolished, and the update to this is that the plan that he had in place was to acquire two adjoining properties. He was thinking that the additional house on the other side of this lot was going to be demolished as well. This is not, it's out for RFP for rehabilitation. So he has decided not to request this entire lot, but he is happy with a split. He will not be doing any development on this site except for a possible accessory structure. He told me that he was storing a lot of his lawn equipment in the back area or back porch area of his property. So he would like a garage or a large enough shed to store some of this stuff. So he's willing to do a split, and the split would be a 50-50 with the other adjoining structure. And that's pretty much all I have to say. If the Land Bank Committee does approve this, it would go to City Commission for final approval. If the Land Bank does not recommend it to City Commission, then we will just deny the application.
Debbie, did you took part in the walkthrough of the property with potential people that would rehab the 521 Fulton Street house, correct?
I did. There were 2 walkthroughs on the 3rd and on the 10th.
Did was a potential split discussed with any of those folks?
I can say that the people that walked through the parcel or the structure, they did ask if that was part of it. And I said that it typically would not be the full parcel. If anything, it would be a split but I did not give a definitive answer to anybody.
Okay. Well, we need to remove this from the table probably to have further discussion. Is that correct?
I'm sorry, yes, I did not discuss that, but yes, we do.
I make a motion to remove this from the table.
Second.
All right. Jonathan Holliday,
Yes.
Greg Volz,
Yes.
Chief Oliver,
Yes.
Brendan Heil.
Yes.
All right. Now we are able to discuss further.
Is there a recommendation from staff or Jonathan or Greg or whoever on this split?
No, we have not given a recommendation.
I can say on the, as land bank administrator, we have taken several of these to the committee. They're all different circumstances, but, sometimes it does make sense and sometimes it does not. So we're looking for planning and development and, all the members weigh in on this.
Does anyone have any thoughts? I guess I'm looking at Jonathan and Greg, like, do you guys have an opinion on this?
Yeah.
I'm personally curious and looking forward to looking into our land bank more to see how, or I guess rather to see whether or not there are ways for us to better encourage new scattered site development here in the city. There's some real benefits to the city when we see infill development on vacant lots, primarily the attraction of new residents to the city, the increase of income taxes. Typically, the construction is, you would expect to be tax abated, but there would be a portion that would be taxable initially, and then in the long term, increased property taxes. And the challenge with infill construction is that it typically takes a lot longer to come to fruition than a side yard expansion. And so I know some communities take steps to proactively set aside development parcels so that they can be first, marketed and positioned for infill construction. And I'm not sure that makes sense here in the case of Sandusky, but it's something I'm curious to look at. And I think, this lot might fit into that category, given that it's close to downtown. It's a relatively good size. So I do wonder whether or not new construction is more appropriate at this location than a split and side yard expansion. But I haven't been able to look into that too thoroughly just yet.
Yeah, and I guess that was my question. Is my understanding of the Mo to Own program is it's really designed for parcels that are otherwise not large enough to be independently developed. And isn't this parcel like a full large enough parcel that someone could build a house on it?
So this and I do want to be clear, almost every parcel in Sandusky is able to be built upon. Even past splits have been on buildable parcels. I think it's just been the goal of the community to just get these into people's hands that are able to take better care of the properties. That being said, these are 33-foot wide parcels, which is pretty common for killable parcels. The 421 Fulton does have a drive that could access the backyard for a potential garage, where in some instances splits are beneficial because it would give the opportunity for a property owner to have vehicular garage in the backyard. That's not the case in this instance. So you'd be able to put a house here with access to the backyard for a garage. So it site for a future infill project. So I'm going to make a motion to deny this request.
Okay,
I'll second that.
all right. All right. And just to be clear, why this was on the agenda is that the Mo-to-Own applications, I think the Mo-to-Own program is for eligible properties that are less than 40 by 125, I think. So, you know, it's not an automatic approval. We certainly love to, you know, have development and plannings weigh in on that. So I do appreciate that. So with that, I will take roll. Mr. Holliday?
So this would be a vote on the motion to deny, so a vote.
It would be a yes vote to deny, a no vote to, if you're looking otherwise.
Okay, got it, thank you. I'll vote yes.
Okay. Mr. Volz?
Yes.
Chief Oliver?
Yes.
Mr. Heil?
Yes.
All right, that application will be denied. New business. New business, we are, just for the Land Bank Committee's information, we are going to hopefully get a listing agent for the Cold Creek parcels, the city-owned parcels. There's 40 single-family and 4 multifamily. They're in the selection process of a listing agent, and hopefully we'll be signing a contract real soon. We just wanted to put this in front of the Land Bank Committee because there are certain conditions that this listing agent will be looking for from a prospective buyer. Historically, city staff would look at these applications and bring to the Land Bank Committee, but we are hoping that if a listing agent finds a buyer that will meet all of the conditions of the sale, those being that the sale market or the sales price will be fair market value, the assessments of the lien will be satisfied from the sales, and the buyer will be required to start construction within 4 years. We are hoping to forego this approval process. If we find a buyer that is meeting all those conditions, normally we do go ahead and approve those applications. So we are looking to see if the Land Bank Committee would like to give an approval for these types of sales of Cold Creek property. Sort of a blanket approval, I guess.
Thanks, Scott. And I'll just add, I'll add for everyone's benefit that the proposed fair market value amount that we're going to be suggesting be used in this case is the auditor's market value times 90% or 90% of the auditor's market value. And that was an amount that was recommended by HODI, which is our preferred realtor in this case. And I think in line with current market conditions that we're seeing. So that is one of the conditions that we're suggesting, be in place for these sales. So basically, whenever we have a buyer that's willing to meet these general conditions, we're hoping to be able to move forward administratively so that there's a smooth process and quick closings so people can get on with the construction of new homes. So appreciate the committee's consideration of this here on the front end as a bit of a kind of bulk approval.
Yeah, I'll make a motion that we accept that.
Second.
Okay. I will go ahead and take roll on that motion. Mr. Holliday,
Yes.
Mr. Volz,
Yes.
Lieutenant Dahlgren,
Yes.
Mr. Heil,
Yes.
and that will go to City Commission then for final approval. Next on the agenda is property acquisition. We have 3 parcels that we've listed for possible acquisition. The first of which is on Hancock Street. I wonder if I can get a picture here. It's kind of here. Hancock Street, parcel number 5600709-000. This is residential vacant land, which is identified by the Erie County Auditor with a lot size of 33 by 130 or 122. The property is zoned downtown business, and the property is delinquent with the Erie County Treasurer's Office, and if acquired, it will be evaluated for future development. The second property that we are suggesting or asking for acquisition is 1719 Madison Street. This is a 1-story residential structure that was recently damaged in a fire. The lot size is approximately 45 by 132 and zoned 2-family residential. The property owner has voluntarily offered this property to the city at no charge and agreed to provide a clear title if approved. If acquired, the property will be evaluated for demolition. And the last is 506 East Monroe Street. This one's kind of on the corner here. This is a 2-story office building with an additional residential structure that is currently condemned. Both structures sit on 0.1 acre of land and valued at $4,000. While the improvements value of the property is $122,140, according to the Erie County Auditor's website. The property is zoned residential business, and the property is not currently in tax foreclosure, but it is anticipated that it will be soon. So those 3 parcels we are asking to take to City Commission for approval for acquisition.
Debbie, will we be, what will we be paying on these to acquire them?
To acquire, it would just be the cost that we have associated. So if there's deed prep, transfer fees, any kind of maintenance that has been done to any of the properties, if there is a demolition in place, there would be a demo assessment.
Okay.
So, well, we wouldn't pay that though. Yeah, it wouldn't be much to acquire these.
All right. I do
Just
think it's important, especially this Warren and Market Street property, to be sure we keep this building maintained and there. I think it's an important building at that corner. It closes in the street, and with everything else being set back around that corner, I think it kind of urban fabric of that corner. So I don't know how that plays into acquisition, but I just wanted to make that stated.
Yeah, request for acquisition is usually through tax foreclosure. That's how the city can acquire these with taxes free and clear. So we would have to apply for or get a resolution for acquisition prior to the treasurer or the prosecutor listing it in the paper for sheriff's sale. So this is kind of the first step, and these properties may or may not go through the foreclosure process, but we're just kind of looking ahead at properties that may and asking for approval ahead of time so that they can be properly notified in the paper.
Well, I'll make a motion to approve that request.
Okay,
Second.
all right. Motion and a second. I'll go through the roll call of Mr. Holliday,
Yes.
Mr. Volz,
Yes.
Chief Oliver,
Yes.
Mr. Heil.
Yes.
Okay, that motion is approved and it will go through City Commission next step. So any discussion that anybody has, we do not have any updates to the mow-to-own side lot disposition guidelines or the corner lot disposition guidelines. This was something that Mr. Lasko kind of mentioned before his departure, so we have not moved forward on that, but we can certainly take a look at either of those programs. And if anybody has any other discussion at this time for this meeting.
Do not.
All right, the next meeting is scheduled for April 19th, 2021. I always try to put if necessary. If we do not get any requests, we will probably not have a meeting and you'll be notified of that. But I do anticipate getting some proposals for the RFP that we have out for 421 Fulton Street. And the committee will be asked to look over those proposals and score them according to how the RFP reads. So I assume we will have an April 19th meeting as those proposals are due back the 6th of April. So if there's nothing else, I'll ask for a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All right.